What's up, everybody? It's Tony Lopez here, and really excited for today's episode. If you are joining us for this journey on how to start a small business in 2024, today we're going to be going over a really important topic. It's really step one in your journey. So I'm going to pull up my slides here. And so today we're kicking off with getting launched. So we have a little bit of a framework that we've put together going over what it looks like to start a business. So step one, you have get launched. Step two, you have get lean. Step three, you have get leverage. Then you have get leads, and then you have get leadership. And depending on where you're at on this framework, you may already have started a small business. What I've noticed is if you haven't started a small business, this lesson is very important for you, right? Because this is where you're basically going to be developing your business idea. For those of you that have started a small business, this still is very practical. If you would say, hey, I've started a small business, but I currently am struggling, then this lesson will be something that you're going to want to go through, as it's going to help you identify that whether the product or the service that you're offering is the right fit for your market. So some really interesting things we're going to be sharing. And before we do that, I just want to set the stage here with this basic idea, and that is that every business starts with an idea, right? People are trying to come up with a solution to a problem. We put here, technically, when you're in this process, discovering your business idea is the first thing in the process. And so I have here, there's two frameworks that you can use to help you discover your business idea. The first one is the problem solution framework. And then the second one is the skills knowledge framework. So if you are just in the early stages, I remember when I was first starting out my business or first wanting to get into business, I had a notepad on my phone and I would just jot down business ideas. I was constantly trying to think of what problems exist in the marketplace or in the world around me. And are there any solutions that I can think of to those problems? And so I think this is a great path forward when trying to start a business, is to have an Excel document, have a notepad, have a notes app on your phone, where as you notice these things in life that may frustrate you, that may bother you, that you may dislike, that you can start navigating through thinking of solutions to them, jotting down those ideas. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going through 3 steps. So we have here, step one is discovering your idea. Then the next step, we want to evaluate your idea. Not all ideas are created equal. We want to find out, is this idea one worth putting your time and your money and your energy behind? And then number 3, how do you differentiate your idea? So just because there's competition is not a bad thing. That's usually a sign that there may be demand in the marketplace for what you're trying to offer, but you don't want to blend in with everybody else. You do want to differentiate. You may need to niche down. There's other things that you can do to do that. So we'll be talking about that today also. So first one here is the problem solution framework. So a business solves a problem. That's what it does at the very core. What you're doing is somebody has a pain point and you are now alleviating that pain point. And the larger the pain is that they're experiencing, the more interested they are likely going to be in the solution that you're offering. I put here as you're trying to navigate discovering your business idea, these will be some questions that you're going to want to ask. What is something that frustrates you? And what is something that you hate? What is something that bothers you? More often than not, on the other side of that question, there may be a solution that the marketplace needs. It may not be a solution that you just need, but others could use it as well. I remember when I was in the early stages of trying to think through what business to start, there were 3 ideas that rose to the top of my business ideas list. I had basically 3 things that frustrated me. And around those 3 ideas, I developed some business ideas. So one of them was going to be a dating app. I was a single Christian guy. It was very difficult to meet other single Christian girls that I was interested in. And so I was trying to serve a problem that I had, but it was also a problem that a lot of my friends had. And so I felt like there was a real need in the marketplace for possibly an app or basically a business to fill that void and help people get connected. I ended up passing up on what that idea was going to be. And the next one was I was interested in a mobile fueling company. I remember I hated filling up gas. I still do to this day. I hate when my tank is on E and I got to go to the gas station. It just feels like a waste of time. And so I was like, man, this frustrates me. I'm sure it frustrates other people. Maybe there's a way that I can, have a mobile fueling truck and drive throughout neighborhoods and fill up people's gas tanks and just top it off for them. And that way they don't have to go to the gas station. And so is we'll see in step 2, you do want to evaluate your business idea. And in evaluating this specific business idea, I realized that it was actually pretty technical and pretty difficult to be legally able to drive around a lot of gas. And so I ended up putting that idea on pause. And then the third idea I had was ultimately about something that really frustrated me, which was the cost of housing and feeling like, man, why isn't there more affordable housing options? And that's ultimately the idea that I moved forward with and stumbled into containers being converted into living spaces. And if you know anything about my story, that's what I've been doing for the last 7 years is converting shipping containers really into tiny homes and into offices. And our goal has been really to meet that market need. So, what is something that frustrates you? What is something that you hate? And then ultimately, can you think of a solution to this problem? And maybe there's already solutions out there in the marketplace, but you can think of a better solution, right? I think about, I have a little one, he just turned 2 years old, and my wife is always trying to find new water bottles that he can use that aren't going to spill or that aren't going to stink if you put milk in it or all these different things. And I feel like the water bottle industry is just one of those things. Recently Stanley is very popular and everyone loves their Stanley. And, I just see these kind of like waves of there's one innovation within that industry, then another wave of innovation. And so you could be in an industry that already has solutions, but you can think of a solution that's better. And so, definitely something to consider as you're navigating this. So if so, that may be your business. Now, number 2, the next framework is skills and knowledge framework. So that first framework, a problem solution framework, when you're thinking about that, kind of everything falls into that category. Whether you're doing a service-based business, whether you're doing a physical product, a digital product, an online course, whatever product or offer or the thing that you're selling is, it's ultimately solving someone's problem. Now, this is another angle to think about this through as well as you're trying to discover your business idea. And this is the skills knowledge framework. So what's a skill that you've developed that you can add value to other people with? So for example, maybe you went to school for accounting and you've worked in one of the big 5 accounting firms and you have a really good grasp of numbers and how to help businesses be profitable and understand maybe where their current profitability is. Well, now you have the ability to exit working for a corporation and have the opportunity to start working for yourself and serving other small businesses to solve that problem. Now, that could be in the form of a service. It could be in the form of a productized service, where maybe it's more of a course or a curriculum or something along those lines. But that would ultimately be you using your skill set within the framework of a business that you've started to earn income. Now, there are plenty of different examples of this. A lot of them will relate to some of your work history. Where have you developed skills, whether it's in maybe it's email marketing, maybe it's social media management, maybe it's plumbing or being an electrician, doing electrical work. As we know, there's a variety of different skills out there. And then considering on this topic as well is, what's an area that you have knowledge in that can add value to other people? Now, the thing here is you don't have to be the leading expert in an area. You just have to be farther along than the person you're trying to teach. Now, it doesn't mean you have to be 10 steps ahead of them. You could just be 1 step ahead of them and you're going to help them get from where they're at to where you're currently at. And that would be a knowledge-based business. Now, you see this a lot in the online space, right? Whether you're teaching someone how to run a business, or you're teaching someone how to market, maybe you're teaching someone how to play soccer better, or play any sport better, right? Whatever it may be, we all need to grow in different areas in the realm of knowledge and understanding. And if you have a level up in a certain area, maybe it's an area that you have a passion about or an obsession about, that you just love learning about this thing, and now you have the opportunity to turn that into a curriculum or a course or a book or any kind of product that you can now help people navigate and understand that topic better. This could also be things like one-on-one coaching or group coaching. And so definitely some different opportunities there. Now, once you've developed your business idea, you really want to go into step two. What happens sometimes is people develop an idea, they think it's an awesome idea, and they jump right into manufacturing it or offering it without ever actually talking to the marketplace to determine, is there truly a need or a want for that? And is what you're offering truly a good match for what the marketplace wants? So evaluating your business idea is extremely important. But they are not all ideas are created equal, right? There's some ideas that are great. There are other ideas that are terrible, and you want to get feedback from others. So I put here some key questions that you want to ask. So would people be compelled to pull out their wallet for my offer? This is a great question. Are there people out there that they're going to really want what you're offering? Or is it going to be a struggle to get anybody to want to purchase what you're offering? Would this idea have high profit margins? I don't know about you, but I don't want to go into business selling a product or offering a service where I don't have good profit margins. And I'm going to simply be working really hard to make just a little bit of money. So you want to have good profit margins in your business. Is this something that's scalable, and can it be easily duplicated? If you are creating a business that isn't scalable, you're going to hit a wall. And for some people, maybe they would be okay at a certain level and they don't need a very scalable business. Usually the wall is you. So if you're creating a business that is 100% revolved around you, maybe it's a service that you're providing, you need to ask yourself the question, is it scalable? Is this something that I can grow? And if I grow it, will I still have good profit margin? Because right now, when it's just you may have okay margins. But the reality is that's not good profit margins. Because if you're working in your business, then you can't count that as, you have to count that expense. So basically what I'm trying to say is you want to think through your business in a way where you're not working in the business. The goal is always to get out of working in the business and to then be able to work on your business. So even when you're not working in it, is there still great profit margins when other people are handling and fulfilling those needs? Are there few unknowns? Or are you going into a market that's really blurry or really foggy, really cloudy, and you don't really know what you're getting yourself into? You don't know what regulations exist. You don't know what demand there is. Ideally, you do want to enter into a marketplace where there are more knowns and you have a familiarity with the market, and you can have more clarity on how your product fits within that market. Does this idea have a long-term play, or is it just a fad? Business is always a long-term play. A lot of stuff online about getting rich quick. And what I'd say is if you're looking to get rich within the next 90 days, then you don't want to do that by trying to start a business, okay? Business is a long-term play. Most businesses take years before they have great profit margins and are making good money. So you want to consider that the thing that you're going to be investing your time and energy into to create is not just a fad that's going to go away within the next several months, but is something that is going to be around for the long term. It's a need that people need, and it's something that you can meet for the years to come. And lastly, I put here, does your business idea fall into the following three buckets: health, wealth, and relationships? So the truth is this is what people are willing to pay for. If you can help them in the area of their health, if you can help them in the area of their wealth, whether that's making money or saving money, and if you can help them in the area of their relationships, that's typically where people are willing to pull out their wallet and provide you a payment for a product or service that meets that need. Now, I want to also mention this idea of a product market fit. This is an idea that's actually new to me. It's something that I've ran up against a lot in my business journey, but I didn't have a name for it until recently, where I met up with Patrick Chandler. He started a business basically online where they do online boxing. And he really gave me a good understanding of what this is. So I put here, if you gave your product to people, how would they then feel if your product no longer existed? Would they not be impacted? Would they be slightly impacted? Or would they be greatly impacted? Now, what I want you to understand with these questions that I'm asking is these are filters to put each of your ideas through. And if your idea can kind of get through these filters and get out to the other side, that means it could be a viable business idea. If, however, you start to go through these filters and you get stuck and you're at a point where you're like, yeah, I don't think this can work, that's a good way to tell that maybe you need to go on to your next business idea. So right here, I think this is very helpful. Is your idea that you're creating, is it not going to have an impact on people? Because if it's not going to have an impact on people, there probably won't be demand for it, like you will need there to be demand for it. Is it just going to slightly impact people? That's not bad. You can develop a business that's in the range of it slightly impacts and it greatly impacts people. Or is what you're coming up with going to be able to greatly impact someone? If it is, that is a great idea. And that may be the one that you want to put your money, time, and energy behind. Another thing is you want to adjust to the problem versus to the solution. So what I mean by that is if you've developed a product that solves a problem, you don't want to be so married to your product that once you give it to the market and it doesn't fit, that you're just done, or you're just forcing this into the market. You want to try to look at it from another angle and say, hey, this need is still present in the market. The product I've developed, it doesn't seem to be fitting. So let me try a different product. Let me try to create a different solution until you have that product market fit or it's jiving and you can tell that your sales are going to be moving forward strong. Until you have that, it will be like pushing a boulder up a hill. So that is really important. Now, last thing here I put, sometimes you may not need to change your product, but change your market. So going back to a product market fit, you may have developed a product and you're trying to shove it into market A and they don't want your product. Well, the reality is there may be an entirely different market who would be interested in what you're offering. I know for us with Shipping Container Homes, this is our story. We built these shipping container homes and we started trying to push it into all markets. And the reality is it's not a good fit for all markets. It's actually only a good fit for a few select markets. For us, that's people that are in rural areas, people with low building regulations, people that are off the grid, and a lot of times Airbnb investors that are around national parks. That ultimately is our audience. That's our market, and our products fit within that market very well. So that's where we want to be spending our time and our attention. By just creating Facebook ads and sending them out to the ether and just hoping that people are going to respond, we're going to be wasting a lot of money. We need to be targeted in our approach with who we're reaching out to and understanding ultimately who our target audience is and similarly what our market is. So understanding market and product fit is so important. Number 3, differentiating your business idea. Okay, so what is your unique value proposition? This is basically asking, what is it that separates you from your competition? If you don't have something that separates you from your competition, what's going to happen is someone is going to realize at some point that they have a need. Then they're going to go to the marketplace to try to have that need fulfilled. And if there's nothing that differentiates you from your competition, they are likely not going to select you over your competition. So there's different things that you can do to differentiate yourself. Some of that might be related to special features within the products themselves. Other things might be related to you. For a lot of you that might be more in the skills and knowledge framework for your business idea, and you're going to be selling something that you're the main person providing, there may be something about your story that can resonate with a certain demographic of people that ultimately those are going to be your clients because they're going to understand you. They're going to understand the journey that you went through and how you can help them get through that same journey. So you want to understand your clients' pain points. You also want to understand your clients' aspirations. And the last thing I put here is you don't just want this to just be an idea. You want this to be an idea that people can get behind. And ultimately at that point, what you're creating is not just a product, not just a service, but ultimately a movement. And that is where you can see a mass market shift where a lot of people will adopt a product. You begin to see a movement. And I mentioned Stanley Cups earlier, and I think that's a great example right now of just a movement that has happened. And it's actually such a good example for a lot of things. Early on when they were building those cups, it's been around for a very long time, and they were marketing them to people in construction. And they were just forcing that product into the wrong market. And it was recently when all of a sudden moms got really interested in the Stanley Cups, and that business blew up, doing I think $700 million in the last year in 2023. And so what a beautiful example of finding the right market for your product. Well, that is it for today. In our next lesson, we'll be going over Get Lean. And this is probably the most powerful topic that has helped me in business. I am at about year 7 in business, and I'd say at about year 5, it was a bit of a struggle. I felt like I was working really hard and not getting the results I wanted. And ultimately at the end of the year, not having the profit that I wanted. And one of my biggest lessons was that I needed to get lean. And it was a journey to get lean, and it required me to make some pretty difficult decisions. But I can look back now and say, man, that was one of the best things I have ever done. And so getting lean is applicable to those who are just getting started. You want to start lean. But also for those who are struggling. You're like, man, there's just not enough meat on the bone at the end of the year. Getting lean may be the solution for you. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.